Hey y'all, welcome to the Lady Wing Designs channel. My name is Zakia and we are back for another whip update. So I think this is number 5. It doesn't matter, you know what number it is. Yeah, so welcome back to any returning viewers and a big hello to any new viewers. I hope you like what you see. Yeah, okay, it's Wednesday, April the 1st. I don't know why I just blanked. I literally just looked at the date. Anyway, it's Wednesday, April the 1st, 2020. We're still in the morning time here. Yeah, nothing's really happening. I'm like, okay, what can I tell them? Nothing. Nothing's happening. You'll notice the change of scenery, or maybe you won't. I don't know. It's still a black couch. Um, but anyway, the giant pillow I feel like is the newest scenery. Anyway, so I live in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. For those of you that don't know, I go to the University of Alabama here, which, yeah, we're not in classes like many other people. Yeah, things got canceled, so we're doing online classes. And now the city is on a lockdown or a shelter in place, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, I decided to stay where the video games were and where other humans were because, yeah, if I'm gonna have to hunker down, I kind of didn't want to be by myself. So, that's the change of scenery. But yeah, I mean, it's Wednesday, nothing's really going on, just lots of crafting. So, let's jump in and talk about that. I hope all of you are doing well, that you're staying safe. Um, yeah, enjoying the downtime that I know a lot of us are getting right now. Okay, so show notes. Let's just jump right in and talk about some whips. I don't really know what I was working on the last time that I talked to you guys. I probably should have looked, but anyway. So, was I already working on cardinal points? I don't remember. But, anyway, so I picked up cardinal points. I am keeping this in a Pretty Southern project bag. It's got a vinyl front, as you can see. I love it. The elephants and the bright colors, it's perfect. So, cardinal points is, this is what it looks like. It's a pattern by Long Dog Samplers, and I'm stitching it 2/1 on 18 count white Aida. So this is where I am. Like I said, I don't remember if I had pulled this out already in the last video. So when I picked this back up, I already had the bird. I had, what did I have? I had the pink and the yellow in this flower. So like that darker maroonish color, I hadn't put that in yet. And then the stem and all of these leaves and these flowers, which is the same maroonish color, none of that was there. So all of that's gotten added in. Oh, and these two flowers up here, which I actually really like those, especially this one. Yeah, so I got a good bit of progress in on this one, and I think it's definitely going to come back out. I realized that Cardinal Points is actually on my WIPCO board for the year, and it's marked for a finish, so I need to start working on this one a little more. I don't remember when its birthday is. I'll have to look it up. I think maybe it's sometime in September, but that might be fun to try to get it done before its birthday. So maybe. We'll see. This plant is a big part of page 2, so that's good progress. And this, wow, I thought both Stitch Marker and Progress Keeper before I thought Needle Minder. I don't know what that's about, but yeah, so this needle minder is from Abby at Top Knot Stitcher. Highly recommend. So yeah. Oh, and Grime Guard from Silver Moon Sewing. yeah, called for DMC, or not called for, DMC conversion. It's charted in Gentle Arts. So that is cardinal points. Like I said, I'm working on, this is pretty much page 2. And then this, right, yeah, this corner over here will be page 3. So it would be really nice if I could finish page 3, I don't know, maybe by, I don't know. I'm not going to start thinking up any plans because, yeah, the plans won't get carried out if I make them. That's how this works. So I was also working on, I think that I was definitely working on Change of Seasons. And this is a pattern from Mystic Stitch. It's full coverage. So here's where I am. I'm pretty sure that last time I was up here somewhere. So we got a good bit of progress in on this. I did actually watch like 3, I think, episodes of, wait. No, I watched 4 episodes because I do remember that the last episode I told you guys that I think I was on episode 2 of Once Upon a Time. And I was. I was still very much at the beginning of the episode. I guess it felt like I had watched more than I actually had that day. But anyway, so I got into a really good groove. I just sat and, focused on the TV and stitched, and I got a lot of progress done. So 4 episodes. I think I'm almost done with week 1, and now week 3 episodes have been put out, so it's fine. I'm just gonna keep watching and stitching. I'm not gonna worry about trying to keep up with the show, um, and that's in the Stitch and Binge group that'll be linked. So in the description box below this video, you'll find a direct link to show notes on the blog. Go there for links about things that I talked about today. And yeah, there are also links down there for where you can find me. So anyway, Change of Seasons. I'm doing this 1/1 on 25 count white Lugana. Garm Guard again, Silver Moon Sewing. Needle Minder is from Brenda's Minders and More. And she has a Facebook group. Again, that'll be linked. Okay. Next was Letters from Hogwarts. I haven't even worked on that many things. You'd think I would just know, but apparently I don't. So this I am keeping in a Floss Buddy Flip from Bags Plus. It has the floss pockets on this side. This is a 45 pocket. And the fabric in a vinyl pocket on the other side. So, Letters from Hogwarts is a pattern by Cunning Cross Stitch. It is a Stitch Your Own Adventure, pronounced Soya, even though it's S-Y-O-A, we just say Soya. Anyway, so yeah, it's a mystery stitch along basically. A new chapter or part comes out every other month. So chapter 2 came out in January, or excuse me, in March, on March the 1st. But I am not there yet. I'm catching up on chapter 1. So this is everything that I have done so far. I actually need to take a good picture of this. Yeah, so you can see I have the owl on this side done, the red and blue are done. I have half of my wand and most of the castle. I think I still have 2 more colors on the castle, at least. Well, in these browns. There are 5 shades of brown. I think there are like a couple yellows maybe for the lights in the windows. But anyway, I have been putting in all my work on this chapter 1 section. So I don't really remember where I was when I showed this to you last, but you can see that I've gotten the background complete. So there are like a few more stitches up in here that are like technically the background, I'm like cutting off my face, but you guys can see the stitching. This is what matters. So anyway, yeah, I'm super in love with this, you guys. It looks so good. So I did keep going with the brown thread that I had parked here. So I've got a little bit of this R started on the outline. I purposely was trying to get all of the background done. I'm like working from the outside in so that like the R will pop out more. I don't remember exactly who I heard it from, and maybe from multiple stitchers, but I tried it one day and it works. If you have something where like there's a background and then there's like a detailing in the center of it, stitch the background first and then stitch the detail on the inside and it'll pop a bit more. And I mean, that was months ago whenever I heard that. But you know, I tried it and it's totally a thing. So it's just the slightest difference and I like that better. So I applied that here and I figured I would try to get the background done first as much as possible, and then I'm going to work in on how this is designed. So this brown outline, I'm going to try to get a lot of it done first, and then and then there's like a blue line inside of that, and then I think this blue from the background comes back in, and that's what the actual R is in. So anyway, yeah, just working from the outside in basically, and this background was pretty mindless for the most part. So I really enjoyed it. Next, I will be putting in some work on these borders. This brown border is reversed, like mirrored. There we go, that's the word I want. It's mirrored on this side. So I am going to work on that some more the next time I pick it up. And how could I not say this? It's like the most obvious thing. These were all supposed to be blues, and instead I changed these two smaller stripes to green, and I don't know if you can tell that it's green. It's not the right shade, but I changed it to green and silver. They are colors that are already in the pattern, so it'll all work well together. But yeah, Slither Claw all the way. So you can kind of see the outline of the eagle too. I'm super excited to stitch him in there because it's just blocks of color. So that's enough of that. Also, my arm is kind of getting tired here. So this is on 36 count doubloon, hand-dyed linen from Picture This Plus. Oh, that looks gorgeous. I love the light in my boyfriend's apartment. He has a giant, basically floor to ceiling wall of windows. It's great. Like everything's a window besides the door. I love it. Anyway, anyone who searches for really good light, whether it's to record, to stitch, just to generally see, like, it's great. And I love some good sunlight. So, yay! This is coming together. So this is chapter 1. Chapter 2, which, like I said, came out at the beginning of March, goes under this. That's kind of why I started with chapter 1 first, so I could work down that way. So, yeah, Letters from Hogwarts got a lot of good work over the weekend and these last few days. It's just kind of been the project that I'm working on. It will come back out again. I'm not quite sure when, because today is April the 1st, and if you follow and watch Caroline from Off the Grid Needle Arts, you might know that for the last 2 years, I think it's the last 2 years, she's done Sunday high tea. Well, high tea in general, but it kind of started out on Sundays. Um, so it's changed every year. She's, kind of changed what she does, her goals for high tea for herself. We can still do whatever we want, but of course, we all kind of go off of, you know, what Caroline does. That's kind of our idea palette. But anyway, okay, you guys know what I mean. So, um, anyway, so this year she is doing a quarterly high tea new start. And so that means January 1st, April, July, and October. Ooh, math. Um, yeah, so on the first of those months, she's doing a new start. And today is April the 1st, so we're starting the second quarter of the year. I don't know how that's happening. But anyway, now I need to find my pattern page. So, you guys, when I was at retreat, I still like haven't actually shown you um, like the rest of the stuff that I got at retreat. So I guess for right now, you're just gonna be seeing it as I pull it out and start using it. Um, yeah, one of these days when I'm like back in my apartment with the rest of the haul, I will show you guys the other things that I got. It's like a couple patterns and some fabric that I haven't shown you guys. But anyway, all that to say, this new start is a pattern that I found and bought at the Huntsville retreat in January. I've never said that I was against samplers. I've always said I never found the one I wanted. And then Painted Wings happened, and then Cardinal Points happened. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, depending on how far we're going to define sampler, Love and Unity, my modern folk embroidery project, it kind of seems samplerish to me. Not samplers like the other two. But anyway, my point being, I actually fell not okay because I'm just not into like these giant samplers, like especially like the ones that Hands Across the Sea does. Like they're super gorgeous, but when I look at them, I'm like, okay, that's super cool, but like, you know, it doesn't call to me. I'm like, yeah, that's fun. It must be a fun stitch, but like, you know, I'll pass. There are a few other things I'd rather stitch. And then I saw this one, and I just had to have it. So this is When Thou Art Rich, and yeah, I'm in love. I'm in love. So, wow. So the words say, when thou art rich, thou many friends shall find. When riches fail, friends soon will prove unkind. Sorry, that got real difficult to read for some reason. uh, yeah, when riches fail, friends soon will prove unkind. So I love this. And I'm guessing, I haven't looked to see if that's the case, but I'm wondering if these are like initials of their friends. That would make sense. Um, yeah, so this is the sampler that I have started. I actually started it, okay, if we're being super technical, I actually started it on the 31st. It was like 20 minutes before midnight, and I at first was gonna go ahead and wind up all the floss, and then I was like, why bother? You know, I'll just wind them up like as I go, pretty much. Like each section, when I need new colors, I'll just wind them up because I didn't feel like doing all that last night. So I got started on this top border row up here, and that is Algerian eyelets. So this has been interesting so far because I've never done Algerian eyelets before. I'm really excited about this pattern though because there's a bunch of satin stitch. Um, yeah, so like this entire row and this entire row are all satin stitch, or it looks like they're all satin stitch. Um, yeah, there are lots of Algerian eyelets in here, but there's also a good bit of cross stitch too. So I'm really excited about this. I think it'll be a fun experience. So this is what I have so far. Just this tiny little bit right here. Um, I don't know. I don't know if you can kind of see the eyeletty-ness of them up close, but yeah, they they look pretty good so far. I'm really excited about continuing to work on this. The fabric that I'm using, and this is actually part of retail therapy. Do I want to take this off? Not really. I'm going to show you a picture. Actually, in the sunlight, it's not going to show up right. Okay, I didn't really want to have to take this off. I'm being so lazy. It's fine. The fabric is gorgeous. It's worth it. So this fabric I ordered at the table during retreat. One of the Music City cross stitchers, Sarah, she was like, "Hey, you should do it on like a grayish fabric, like a dark gray." And this isn't necessarily a dark gray, but I think it'll still look really good, and I think the colors will pop on it, especially the yellows and the greens and that blue once I get there. So yeah, I think you guys can see kind of the modeling. It's it's really more of like a gray with a definite purple tint to it, and I think you guys can kind of see the purple in it. Um, yeah, but I'm super excited about this. So I think you can tell I did kind of choose an area over here that had like a good bit of the modeling. I know some of it will get covered up with the motifs and stuff, but I just thought that would be nice to kind of have that peeking through part of the pattern. So yeah, because there is still like enough blank space in here that um, I think I'll be able to tell, that it's not just a plain fabric. So yeah, so this is Color and Cotton Graphite. I think it's a 32 count. Yeah, 32 count. And when sorry, crinkle, crinkle. When Angela sent the fabric, so this fabric just got here mid-March. I never went and got it out of my mailbox until last week, but it was here. So I don't know if that's a horrible, horrible coloring. I'm going to show you because I took a picture when it got here. But she sent a couple flosses, and they're both half skeins because her full skeins, you can see on the front here, it says 8 yards. So these are 4 yards each. And where's this picture? Ooh, I don't know if this is going to show up at all. Might not. It might not work very well. Yeah, not very well. Okay, so since this is on my laptop, I will put in a picture. So probably also I, by now, have put in a picture of the fabric as well, because I did take one of those also. Anyway, so yeah, that was partly retail therapy, but this is my high tea new start, and I'm super stoked about it. I'm already having a lot of fun. Okay, I can't. I'm gonna have to just like put that back in the Q snap later. So yeah, that's my high tea new start. I'm really enjoying it so far, even though I only have like 10 or 12 Algerian eyelets. It's going well, so I'm looking forward to working on it. Okay, what is next? I did work on my Fade into Advent wrap some more, but it got put in timeout because somehow I am 5 stitches less than what I'm supposed to be, and I'm pretty pissed about it. So yeah, that pretty much killed my knitting mojo. I was gonna like bring a decent bit of knitting over here, not a ton, but I was gonna have like a couple shawls and like some sock yarn ready. Yeah, I brought almost no knitting. Mhm. Yeah, I had 2 projects go wrong in 1 month. I just can't look at any knitting right now because it basically all has to be fixed. So anyway, I worked on that, but it's not here because I didn't bring it. And then the other thing that I got for haul is my March yarn for the Lolo Did It Quotable Dumbledore Club. So if by chance you are in that club and you haven't opened your package or received it or anything, maybe don't look for a second because I am going to show it. I took a picture. Hopefully this picture will show kind of true to color because yeah, sorry, now I'm checking notifications. Okay, anyway, so yeah, it's not showing up quite perfect, but you can tell it's a gorgeous green. I mean, just gorgeous. And then that is the mini that came with it this month. So you can see, like the others, it's got the brown base and hints of the green from the main color. Um, yeah, so this month's quote was one I think most Harry Potter fans know off the back of your tongue, or that didn't even make sense, but you guys know what I mean. You know it very well. Oh gosh, English. So this month's quote, or March's, what month? All right, slow down. March's quote was, happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light. So, yeah, one of my favorite quotes. The main color is named Happiness. I actually didn't realize until like February, I think, that she did actually name each color, so I'll have to go back and look at what the other ones are, but the main color is Happiness and the mini is named Light. Yeah, when I first opened this, I didn't know how to feel. And nothing's wrong with the yarn. I love the yarn. I just, when I read the quote, I was like, okay, this quote doesn't make me think green yarn. Um, I kind of figured, or I kind of guessed that the color might be green because it was March. And that was fine. I didn't care. I knew it was going to be gorgeous. Like I said, I love the yarn. But yeah, I don't know. I guess when I think that quote, that's just like green didn't pop in my head. Um, and who knows? Maybe like I have no idea. It's not like I've contacted the dye or anything, and I'm not going to because it's not that big a deal. But I don't know. You guys get what I'm saying, right? Like that quote just doesn't like it didn't make me think green. But anyway, I'm kind of glad that it was green though because now I have two really saturated green skeins. The other one I have is Parcel Tongue from Teeny Button Studio. They're kind of calling to be something together. I don't know what. I'm not sure just yet, but something. Um, yeah, how could I not? They're both Harry Potter inspired, and it's green, so Slytherin. You guys know. You knew I was going there, right? Oh gosh. Okay, so we're gonna pause because train. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, my friend, his apartment is right next to a train track, so it gets pretty loud when one goes by. Okay, so I figured I was gonna maybe do an extra clip and have like a little stitch with me here, since I didn't do one on Sunday with all the preparation happening and such. But I figured I do have a couple things that I wanted to talk to you about. Obviously, I was going to talk during the craft with me. Um, so I'm just going to do it here. It'll be face to face. I might not be looking at you. I'm going to stitch. Whatever. Y'all are just sitting and stitching. I'm thinking, or crafting or doing something probably while you listen. So yeah. So I'm not going to show anything at this point. If I do, I'll say something. Yeah, so if you don't want to look, you don't have to. Okay, so one of the things that I did want to mention, I have no idea how long we're going to be sitting here stitching, but I got stuff to tell you, so we're going to make it work. Okay, so I did mention on the last whip update about the Be Well and Stitch movement that's happening over on Instagram. So, again, if you go to the hashtag Be Well and Stitch, or you can see people stitching and find patterns there, or you can, if you just want to look at the patterns, you can go to Michelle Bendy's profile. I know she's had a pretty good highlight where she's kept up with a lot of the patterns that designers are putting out. Yeah, so that's something I wanted to mention just because I know a lot of us are taking that to our advantage right now, with the extra downtime or whatever. Just the keeping our minds off of things, and a lot of them are very happy patterns. So, yeah, you should check that out if you haven't. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention was Jen, Quirks and Stitches, the same Jen that does the 24 hours of cross stitch marathons in that group. She started the hashtag stay home and finish your whips Sal, because yeah, if we've got this time, I mean, there are a good bit of us that are starting projects, and that's wonderful, but I know a lot of us are also stressed about our number of whips or getting to that point, or maybe you just have something that's super close to a finish and you are working on finishing it up anyway. So, yeah, jump on in with the Sal. Again, the hashtag, it'll be linked in the show notes, but stay home and finish your whips. All spelled out. Oh, finish your whips, Sal, at the end there. Yeah, so I totally recommend that as well. Coincidentally, she announced that the same day or the day before, maybe, that I finished the Bofa sampler from Armada Designs. So I'm counting that as like my first finish your whip style piece. Um, yeah, and then I did the Nebby Needle, their free pattern for Be Well and Stitch, the Let God pattern. So I did get a couple things finished. I don't know, I feel like my cross stitch is not quite, I feel like I don't really have a lot of stuff that's like close to finished. Or maybe it's just that the stuff I'm working on is in that status. Not quite sure. But it would be nice to really get um, parts or, you know, anything done. That made me think about WhipGo, so we'll just kind of jump to that. So WhipGo, if you don't know what that is the brainchild of Jessie Marie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff, and basically it's bingo. She just changed it to WhipGo because play on words, but it's basically bingo, and every month she does a random number generator to call two numbers that the numbers correspond to the spots on the bingo board. And yeah, so basically everyone creates their own board, and you have goals that you're trying to reach for each of your projects, whether that be to finish it or to put in a certain number of stitches, whatever that may be. So I know for me, wow, okay, having some thread issues right now. I know for me, my the goals that I have on my WhipGo board are either to finish it for pieces that don't have parts or full coverage, whoops, or full coverage pages. So like cardinal points, there are different pages of the pattern, but it's not full coverage. So that one, its goal is just a full-on finish. Whereas Quotes to Live By, I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it at first, but like Quotes to Live By, it has the different parts since it was a SAL. Um, so I actually am using that in parts. So like Quotes Part 2 is on there. Quotes Part 1 and 9 is another block. And then I have a lot of full coverage on my Whipco board, and there hasn't really been a lot of full coverage stitching so far this year. I really thought I was going to work on Thanksgiving at some point in March because it turned a year old. That didn't happen. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot up in the air right now. These crazy times we're in, right? And yeah, I just don't really know what I'm going to want to work on, what I'm going to want to work on. My English is bad enough. Let's not make it worse. Yeah, but I did bring Egyptian Elephant. I brought Thanksgiving. I brought Change of Seasons. So I do have some full coverage pieces here. And at some point in time, they have to call out to me, right? Like it's going to happen. I'm hoping. But anyway, I only did a couple more eyelets there while I was sitting here. So I'm going to jump off now and go be super obsessed with this project like I want to be. Um, yeah, watch some Netflix. I do need to eat also. Lots of things to do on this Wednesday, not to mention I have schoolwork because we started classes again. Hmm. Yeah, I went from like all the time in the world and now I actually have things to do. It's kind of weird. But regardless, I hope that wherever you are, like I said, you're safe, you're sane, and you're, keeping yourself busy, doing things that make you happy, hanging out with people, checking in on people, or maybe not hanging out virtually, not in person. Stay home. Um, yeah, but on that note, I will leave you guys until next time. So happy crafting, y'all.